Welcome to another edition of Talk Your Exposure. This is episode 9. I'm alongside my co-host Devontae Campbell. What's going on today, buddy? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Good to be here again. Starting to get used to this thing.
That's what's up. Hey man, you're a YouTube sensation, so you'll be used to it just now.
No comment. No comment. No comment. No comment.
We got a very special guest with us today. Former Division I athlete of South Carolina, SEC Sixth Man of the Year, host of Take Notice. We got Duane Notice in the building. What's going on, man?
What's good, man? I appreciate you guys having me on the show, man.
No problem. Devine is going to hit you up with some quick hitters, and we'll get right started afterwards.
All right.
Yeah, man. So I like to get everybody started, get the brain flowing a little bit. Now, 4 categories:
Okay.
passing, defense, shooting, IQ. 4 players retired or still in the NBA. You got to fill those 4 categories of each NBA player. Who would it be? We'll start off with passing.
Passing, I'm going with either my man Steve Nash, or I'm going with honestly I forgot his name. He didn't even play in the NBA like that long. His name's like Messer Tessa. He played for the Clippers. He was like a European point guard.
I never heard of it.
He was one of the greatest passers of all time. Man, I forgot his name, but he like one of the greatest passers I've ever seen in my life.
You said he was a European. He's a European guard.
Yeah, and he played for the Clippers like 3 years ago for like a season or 2.
Was he
and
tall?
He Lakers. Nah, he wasn't tall. He was short.
He wasn't tall. Okay.
Yeah. But he was something like unbelievable, something crazy. Okay, I got his name right here. His name was Milos Teodosic.
Okay. No, you're talking about. I know you're talking about.
Bro, he's the greatest passer I've ever seen in my life, bro. I promise you. He doesn't look it like the eye test. You look at him,
Sure.
like, come on, who? But he makes reads that like it's
Nobody else's.
Make. And then Steve Nash is because 1, I got like a biased personal relationship with him, but 2, like the way he like just emphasized the pocket pass and the pick and roll, which nowadays is like an everyday thing. Back in the day, like his pocket pass to Mari Stoudemire was crazy.
For sure.
Let's see. IQ.
Yeah, let's go to IQ.
Man, I'm trying to think.
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
People there.
There is a lot. Oh, I gotta come back to that one.
Okay, let's go to shooting. 3-point, mid-range, the whole 9. Everything.
I mean, it's hard for me not to say Steph. Like,
yeah, no,
it's hard for me not to say Steph. I'm really a Steph fan, but he can shoot that thing. He do got a clip. He do got a clip.
And the last one, actually, let's switch it to athleticism, jumping ability, defense, that type of stuff.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
That is tough. For me, I always thought that like T-Mac was like one of the most athletic players, especially at his size. His ability to run, his length. It was kind of like the Kevin Durant before Kevin Durant, like someone being 6'8" and up that can handle the ball like that and still get to the cup and jump over you and dunk or like block shots. And he's guarding a Jason Kidd one night, and then the other night he could guard like a 4-man. Like, to me, that like is a true testament of your athleticism when you're versatile. Get a rebound, go down the court and dunk it. So I think like T-Mac is one of the, like, for me, just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
So this past year, first of all, Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you guys as well, man. I'm hoping this 2021 is way more prosperous than last year.
Amen to that.
Amen. I'm with you on that one. What are some of your goals this year for 2021?
For me, man, is to, I've gotten hurt. So I've just been trying to have a whole new outlook on my body and just like how I see the world and also the game of basketball. So for me, it's just to continue to listen to my body, continue to, I've broken down my body and now I'm building it back up. So I just want to get to a point where I can get to, the best shape of my life and just the best peak of everything in my life. And then for me, just continue to take advantage of what's important to me. I think this injury showed me that family is important. Like, as basketball players, you guys know we're always on the road. We're always traveling. We're always doing this, have different obligations. But now, because I have so much time on my hands and I'm at home, I'm able to kind of spend time with my sisters. When my brother was here for the summer, we were able to work out together. I was able to watch him work out, help him work out, spend time with my mom, stuff like that, like stuff that you take for granted as an athlete because you're always traveling. So I want to put more emphasis on just spending time with loved ones in the new year. And just like I said, continue to grow. Like I've been reading more and just like continue to like work on other passions and not just have your head stuck in one thing.
We're gonna get back to your injury in a little bit later, but for right now, I want to ask you, what are your thoughts on your brother right now, man? He's doing his thing in Minnesota right now. He just hit the 1,000-point club recently, and the season hasn't even like finished. We got a whole like we haven't hit the tournament, we haven't hit nothing yet. You know what I'm saying? He's already hit the 1,000 points. So I just want to get your input on your brother.
For me, it's like, I'm obviously proud, but I'm not surprised, if that makes sense. Because ever since I was a kid, like ever since I was younger, and he's 5 years younger than me. So ever since I was playing with St. Dave's with Cy or playing BJC with Cy back in the day, like my brother used to be in the gym, like as a little kid, like that annoying kid where I used to be like, get off the court. Like, like the big guys are practicing now, but he was always trying to like work on his game. Play him and Nikhil, like from a age, was always trying to come in, like because Denja, I used to play at Denja, so like him and Nikhil used to always just work on their game, and I think that kind of helped him out. And then obviously our driveway battles, but he has the work ethic. So for him to see what I go through, and then obviously that big brother little brother syndrome where it's like whatever I do wrong, he makes sure to do the other thing, and whatever I do right, he continues to go on that path. And I'm just starting to see him benefit from it. And like I said, he's a dog, man. He works so hard. Like this past summer when I was hurt and I was with him every day for like a month and a half, like he was working so hard. So it's just, I'm happy that he's finally getting his praise and he's doing it on a level where everybody can see that. And, I'm wishing for the best, and hopefully he can be a lottery pick or be a first round pick or, do something like that to help change his life. But the way he's playing is incredible, man. Like it's so tough what he does too, because he's playing almost the whole game. He's a point guard. He's in a crazy conference. Like every night he's playing a juggernaut. Like today he plays Ohio State. The other day they had Wisconsin. Before that they had Michigan State. Like they're playing, a lot of people every day.
Yeah, no, I mean, even when I saw him at Pink City, like he looked like he had another level to him. You know what I mean? Like that I think that was 2-3 years ago. He played with Devontae on the same team. I think it was the year because you guys played together last 2019 Pink City, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the year before that, when I saw him play with Devontae and Shannon and those guys, he had another notch to him and he had another level to him. And every single time that he would step on the court, it was like, oh, I'm trying to kill this guy. Like I want people to know I'm going to kill you. Like you're gonna know who Marcus Carr was. You know what I'm saying? Like so to be able to like you said, it's not surprising at all. You know what I mean? And even for me, like I don't really know your brother too much, but like from what I do know of him and playing with him a couple of times and seeing him and everything, and I'm so proud of him, man. I really am so proud of him, and honestly, like I'm glad that he's been able to get the praise and get the recognition that he's been deserving for so long. Because I feel like he got screwed in Pittsburgh, I feel like a lot of people really looked over him. Do you feel the same way too?
Yeah, man, it was a tough situation because he was playing the ACC, another tough conference where, every day was like I said, another juggernaut. They would have Syracuse one game, then the next game they have North Carolina, then after that you have Miami. Like it's just like you're playing, potentially top 25 ranked schools every other game. Yeah. And he was a freshman and he played extremely well, man. Like he averaged, I think, like 12, 13 points or whatever, and a lot of assists. And the problem is they didn't win. Like they went 0-18 in conference or something like that, something crazy. So what happened was, it was actually crazy because we were working out together in the summer again, before my 9-5 season. We were working out in Mississauga, and he got a call because he was on the aux, and he got a call from his headmaster or whatever, and they said like, yeah, we're firing Coach Stallings, like da-da-da. So he was like, well, I have to leave. Like I'm not going to stay. Like I don't know who this new coach is that you're bringing in. The new coach that you could bring in could potentially not like me. Like how it goes with transfers and stuff like that. So he asked for his request, and he got it. But Pittsburgh was kind of being like a little silly in the process of him transferring. Obviously, they didn't want him to transfer. And with all that said, he wasn't able to play right away when he went to Minnesota. But he had a year to redshirt and work on his game and just mature and be a practice player and help his guys out over there. And it's paying off now.
Yeah, most definitely. So we'll talk about your high school career a little bit. You start off at St. Mike's. Just want to know why St. Mike's? Why not Vaughn or Henry Carr or Pickering or?
Yeah, my mom asked her. But basically, Man, I was super excited to go to Vaughn. Like, I think my homeschool at the time was either Maple High or maybe Woodbridge College is too far. I think it was like Maple High. I could have went to Emily Carr. At the time, like Julius, like I wanted to go to Emily Carr at Julius, but I think because I started getting recognition with basketball, and then St. Mike's approached my family, and they're like, if you can, like, you come to the school, we'll kind of help out with the tuition. At the time, you got to think, like, my mom's Jamaican, like I'm first generation Canadian. My family's all Jamaican. They're born and raised in Jamaica. So my mom didn't understand like where you could take it with basketball, meaning that even though I was a basketball player and I was like getting all this love and recognition and exposure, she still didn't believe like that, you can make the NBA from Canada. Like, it's just not a possibility. There's not there at the time. Tristan Thompson and Corey wasn't in the league yet, so it wasn't even like a oh, mad Canadians are in the NBA. It's like an easily obtainable goal. So she was more so on like use your basketball skills to get you the best education. And at the time, St. Mike's was like, a prestigious institution. If you went to St. Mike's, it's like my dentist went to St. Mike's. Like I know doctors and lawyers, and like, so she was just thinking of it from like a networking aspect. So she didn't want me to go to Vaughn, which is crazy because I played with Wiggins as a kid. We played St. David's together. So Troy is like one of my best friends. I wanted to go to Vaughn, Dinjo, Rashane. But it ended up not. I had to go to St. Mike's.
What do you guys again? OTF?
Yeah. OTF. But I ended up going to St. Mike's, man, and honestly, I got tricked because what happened was my big bro Negus Webster Chan at the time was going to St. Mike's, and so I thought when I went there he would still be there, but when I went there he left because he hated it. So I ended up going there. I didn't even know it was like an all boys school. Like that's the first thing. Second of all, like uniform every day, like all that stuff, man, I hated it. So I was so upset. Like the first year I tried to fail out. Like I'm talking about, they would hand me tests and I would just put my name on it and just like hand it back. Like you guys, anybody that went to St. Mike's, like I wasn't like mean or nothing, but like I didn't talk to nobody because like I'm from Vaughan, so I had to walk from my house all the way to the Major Mac and 400 bus stop, and then that's like a 25-minute walk because they didn't have the buses yet. This is, what I'm saying, a couple of years ago, Vaughan still was as developed as it is now. And then I had to take the bus all the way from there to Yorkdale. Then from Yorkdale, I had to take the subway to St. Clair West. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like all that just made me just hate my school. Like I just hated that process of doing all that. And then, like I said, I didn't really have like, and I was like the only black kid. I'm gonna keep it 100. When I went there, I was like one of 3 black kids at the time. Like now I know the school is more diverse and whatnot, but like there wasn't a lot of black kids there. So I was just like, man, like I'm just out of my element, out of my zone. So I tried to fill out, and they actually caught on. They're like, yo, we know what you're doing. So the principal actually, because he cared about me and wanted me to stay, was like, you know what, we're just gonna pass you. So they passed me, but like they just like barely passed me, and that actually affected my like grades. I didn't know that like the 4 years of schooling like contributes to your SAT scores and what you need to get from your SATs. So that kind of screwed me over in the long run. Cause my mom was like, you're gonna stay there. I don't care like what you do. You're gonna stay at that school. You're gonna graduate there. And they're like, yo, we're gonna keep you here. And that's why I had to go to prep school my last year, because I had to like replace a classroom because I was messing around in the 9th grade because I didn't want to be there. I tried to fail out.
Yeah, for sure. St. Mike's right now is predominantly known for basketball. They've done a lot. In the past, since you've been gone, they've won obviously I think 3 or 4 times. They've sent a lot of kids to schools and stuff like that. Do you feel like you were one of the major development for that school, or was St. Mike's already a big time basketball school before you got there?
I think I definitely contributed to the culture when it came to basketball, but I know that before I was there was just one guy named Sabonis or something like that. He was really good, this lefty European kid. Like he was amazing. I obviously I have a relationship with Leo Routins. Like that's one of my good friends. Like, and he went to St. Mike's, but that was back in the day. You know what I mean? So like outside of that, I don't really think they had like a rich basketball history. So I think I definitely did help out, like, and then we had Malcolm that came after, like, you know what I'm saying? Like more kids wanted to start coming to the school, inner city kids. And I think it contributed to the culture because when I first got there, we had a hockey rink. Like that should say it all. Like, I don't know many schools that have a hockey rink at their school. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, and when you walk into our hockey rink, they have pictures, frames of like all the NHL players that came from St. Mike's. And literally it's like in the, like, it's almost like 1,000. It's like, I swear it's like 500 at least pictures. So I was like, man, like this is definitely a hockey school. They had football there. So they had a football field. Like I said, I don't know many schools that have like those big football fields like how they do at St. Mike's. So basketball for me wasn't even like their main priority. And then I had kids at my school on my team that like weren't even taking it serious. You know what I'm saying? That's how I knew I was in trouble. I was like, I had kids who were just playing for fun. Like I'm just playing ball because like this is what I do on the side. Like I'm like, yo, I'm doing this because this is my life. Like I'm trying to win. And every time I would play like one of those kind of schools and we go to Austin, be so upset. I'm like, I wish I had some guys on the team that were like basketball minded, you know. But at the same time, I do think that me going there and sticking there for 4 years, and my brother went there, like it kind of helped the culture. And then, like you said, they won 3 or 4 offsets since I've left and everything like that. I think my brother was a part of one of them or something like that. A funny story too, when my brother went to St. Mike's, because St. Mike's is 7 to 12. Nobody knew that like he was my brother because we don't have the same last name. We have the same mother, but we don't have the same father. But we've grown up our whole lives together, like in the same household. But what it was I was just such a Grinch. I didn't want to be at that school. And also he was coming to his own as a basketball player that we just decided not to like tell everybody we were brothers. So we would actually come to school at separate times. We would leave separately. Like nobody knew we was brothers. Like how we're claiming it now was not how it was back in the day. Because I wanted him to have his own identity and he wanted the same because he knew like how he's playing now. He knew that he would get to that point and he didn't want everyone to be like what people sometimes still do is like, oh, that's Duane's little brother. Because like even though he's my little brother, at the same time he's his own person. Yeah. So that was pretty funny. Like we walked by each other in the halls, like we wouldn't talk to each other. People did not know we were brothers. It's pretty funny.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So you go to prep school, you know, your final year there, for your final year of high school. Mm-hmm. And what was the school called again? Sorry, I wasn't.
St. Thomas More. I went there because at the time Andre Drummond was there, and it's actually a very prestigious prep school in the New England Prep League. There's like a few of them out there that are like well known, like Tilton, St. Thomas More, like the Brewster Academies, like those kind of powerhouses, if you will, are all in that kind of league. So I went there. It was definitely an adjustment. It was Connecticut in the boonies, but I just like viewed it as I just need to go there, get my math credit, get my whatever other credit I forgot that I need to get, take my SAT and be out, work on my game. And I had like a whole different approach now where I was at St. Mike's. Like St. Mike's, I was like, man, like I don't want to be here. Like did St. Thomas More is more like I'm here, like it is what it is, bro. I'm just gonna make the most of it. Like, and that's what I ended up doing. And that's how like I actually ended up going to South Carolina because I started, you know, I was playing well. I had a whole bunch of schools coming to see me, but Frank Martin actually came to a practice, which was like super weird, which you know, I know you coach, so you know what's up. Like with these kids, like you tell kids like to give your 100% whenever, because you never know who's watching you. That literally is what happened. Like I didn't even know Frank was at my practice, and he didn't go to a game because I was averaging 25, but he's like, I don't care. Like, you know, it's high school. Like he hates AAU basketball, so he's like anybody can score 30 points in high school because you know kids just be jacking and stuff. He's like, I want to see his attitude and his demeanor in practice. And luckily, I'm the kind of guy that stays before practice. I'm early before practice, getting shots up, and I stay after practice. And I'd like to think I'm a good teammate, so I'm a good leader and stuff like that. So I think he saw all those things. Well, that's what he at least told me. And that's how I ended up getting recruited to South Carolina. So like for all the kids out there that are watching this, it's like no matter where you are, you never know who's watching you. Like it sounds like a cliche statement, but that's literally how I got the opportunity to play at the University of South Carolina. Because I didn't even know he was coming. Nobody told me, no nothing. So imagine if I was at practice, like BSing or having bad attitude or whatever, that could have been my scholarship gone right there.
For sure. So just clarify, you play with Andre Drummond?
No. He went there before, and that's one of the reasons where I was like, okay, I'm gonna go there because he took that route, and it ended up working out for him. Because right after that, he went to UConn. I really wanted to go to UConn, so like I was really like heavy there because that's when Kemba, like Shabazz, like all them was there. So like I'm like, man, if I can just get in front of these coaches, I think Kevin Ollie was the head coach at the time. So and so he was like had a strong relationship with St. Thomas More. So I was like, if I can just continue playing well, like I'll be able to go to UConn, like So that was like, and then like I said, Drummond was kind of like he came back and kind of convinced me like, yo, I know it's all boys school, but like if you just do what you gotta do and get out there, you'll be good.
So obviously you've had a conversation with Andre Drummond before. Did you get to see him work out when you were in high school?
Yeah, he played with us when he came back. Well, he worked out after, but yeah, he was a beast, man. Like dunking everything. He's huge,
Boy.
long arms. It was actually ironic because I played against him before that, but he didn't even know that. But when I played Team Canada, and we went to the World Championships in Germany, and I was playing, I think it was the junior team, and I was playing with like above with like Kevin Pangos and Negus and all those guys. We played against like Bradley Beal, Andre Drummond, like Marcus Teague, like those kind of guys. So Drummond's like been a beast.
Mm-hmm. I was wanting to know, like, what was some things you took from being professional from him, like the work ethic and the workouts and stuff like that. What did you learn from him and in such a short time?
For me, it was just like his ability to, you know how when you work out, you work on so many different things.
Yeah.
Like for him, he was just working on like a specific set of moves in the post, and like that was his workout for like 45 minutes to an hour. It wasn't like, you know how like sometimes we work out, it's like ball handling, then from ball handling we do like finishes, and from finishes you do like mid-range, then you shoot threes, then pick and roll. Like he specified on like 2 areas of the court, whether it was like the block and like the kind of like the mid-post area on one side and the other side the same thing. I started taking that away from him. So sometimes I go into the gym and it's like, if I know I want to work on a certain move or like certain variations of those moves and counters, I'll do that instead of just having a long 1 hour, 2 hour workout of like random multiple stuff. Like I felt like that kind of helped my career a lot. So that now like I know when I work out, I have an intent of like, okay, today I'm gonna get better at snaking the ball screen. So I'm gonna do everything that has to do with snaking the ball screen and all the counters with that. And then tomorrow I'm just gonna work on coming off pin downs. Like, so I'm not doing no ball screen work that day. You know what I mean? So until I perfect or get better at what I need to get better, I'm not moving on to the next thing. I think that's kind of like lost with us nowadays. I think we just like try to like do too much in workouts, and it doesn't translate to games because you're not like, especially when you're working out with multiple people, it's kind of hard to like, if one kid's getting it because he's advanced, but another person isn't, then you move on to the next drill, then that other kid's gonna suffer, you know what I mean? So I think that kind of like taught me how to like work on what I need to work on, and whatever I work on, it doesn't have to be for 2 hours. I used to be that guy that'd be in the gym for 2 hours. Like, you don't have to be in the gym for 2 hours. Like if you work on something for 45 minutes and you perfect it, like that's better than working on a range of things for 2 hours and then you're not perfecting any of it.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned you mentioned that the coach from South Carolina was there. Was there any other coaches that you talked to? Was there any other coaches that you would be recruited from? If so, who? Or by coach, I mean schools.
Yeah. It was like Marquette, I think like Penn State. It was like some Ivy League schools that my mom like obviously really wanted me to go to, but I was like, nah. Plus, I didn't even think I had the SAT. Like I would have to get like an unreal SAT score to get in there. And then it was like a whole bunch of A10 schools, like mid-majors, like Duquesne and stuff like that, and some other mid-majors like that. But just pretty much like those ones. I really wanted to go to Syracuse. I got recruited by Syracuse, but the guy who recruited me got in trouble.
Damn.
Craziest thing that happened, bro. The guy that offered me the scholarship to go to Syracuse got in trouble for like bro, he got in trouble for like messing with a kid or something like that. Some crazy stuff, bro. Like, wow.
NCAA is so many things behind the scenes, man.
I'm telling you. And it was something like he's been doing it for years type of thing. Like it was like he was facing jail time. My mom was like, hell no, you're not going to Syracuse. I'm like, it's Syracuse. Like, it's Syracuse.
So it's safe to say if it wasn't South Carolina, it probably would have been Syracuse.
Man, I really wanted to go to Syracuse because, again, now that we're older, like college basketball is way more prominent. But when we were kids, it wasn't like that. College basketball games unless it was March Madness. Like, and if then you weren't even like, they probably didn't even show it because I'm not gonna lie, when I was a kid, I don't remember watching any college.
Didn't watch it.
Like it was only Raptors games, like whatever they showed us. Like nowadays they're showing other NBA games, they're showing college games. You know what I'm saying? Like a whole bunch of stuff. It wasn't like that back in the day. So, for me, I just knew I wanted to go to Syracuse because of because of Melo, but before Melo, playing on the road AAU, like we used to go to the Kerry Dome, we used to go. So I'm like, man, this facility is amazing. Like, and it's in New York, so like, it's not even that far. So like, if I come here, I'm like envisioning like if I play here, my family could come to almost every game because I have that kind of Jamaican family that they'll pack up in a car and drive. So like, this is like my dream school. Like, I want to go here. Like. So that was like kind of my mindset from a kid.
You know what's crazy too? That just to touch up on this real quick. When we were younger as a kid, I mean, I can already tell your mindset was a lot different from a lot of the people that I've spoken to myself. Like even just you saying like, playing AU and going to the Carrier Dome and going here and going there, like you already said to yourself, yo, I want to play here. Where I played the Carrier Dome when I was in grade 10. I never even thought about like the opportunity to play there. You know what I'm saying? Like my mindset wasn't even like, I'm going to play here. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go here. I'm going to play here. It was just like, yo, I'm playing the Carrier Dome. Like, this is, I'm living that moment. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to say, oh, I'm going to play. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so your mindset already like was like far, far more than other people. And like that's a true testament as to like how, you pretty much been your whole career. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like even watching you played great. You were grade 8 when you were playing grade 9. You know what I'm saying? You're always a minute ahead. You're always an hour ahead. You're always a play ahead. Like that's just how you've been. So
I appreciate that, but what I've learned recently is to kind of be more so how you were, which is like basically appreciating taking the moment, living the moment. I feel like I'm always that kind of person, like you said, like I'm a visionary. So I always like, even I remember like playing in the All Canada Classic when I was like 12, 11 years old against like Kevin Pangos, Mike Kabongo, like all those guys. Playing the ACC for the first time, well, Scotiabank Arena, but ACC, I was like, man, like this is where Vince Carter played. I'm playing here when I grow older. Yeah. But like, it's good to kind of have that visionary, but also be like how you were, where it's like, yo, I'm here. Like, wow, like let me soak in this moment, cherish this moment exactly. Instead of just thinking about like the next. So I'm like trying to find that balance right now of trying to do that, where it's like, I appreciate where I am, but also appreciate that I want more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good method to have, man. A good mindset to have. Let's talk about the Penguins Invitational.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about that.
I actually didn't even end up going. I was supposed to go, but I didn't even end up going. So like I forgot what happened, but I ended up not going. Like, but I remember like I was really excited about the opportunity because Pangos was like one of those camps where it was like, again, like it was like had to be there if you were there. It's like, oh, like I think before Pangos, I think it was like what the ACBC, like one of those, the AB, whatever that camp was, Ron and them used to go to. So Pangos was like, oh, if I go there, I'm for sure getting like recruited somewhere crazy. I ended up not going, to be honest. Honestly, I think my mom didn't let me go because like my grades. So again, I'm gonna keep talking about it 'cause I know like you coach kids and you work with kids, but like that education side is like very important. Like it helps you a long way, especially as an athlete. It helps you just with your IQ, your ability to see the game at a whole different level. For me, like I love the English language. Like I went to school for journalism, broadcast journalism and stuff like that. So for me, just being able to like articulate myself, but also be able to read something and then translate it very quickly, I think helped my game out a lot because especially playing in the NBA G League or playing in university, like scouting reports are like crazy. I remember us being in school, us being in school, like a scouting report was like, all right, like he dunk, like he shoot, like you know what I'm saying? Like he got a crazy crossover, like that's it. Like these scouting reports in university and even worse in the NBA G League or like overseas, it's like a paragraph essay on each player. Like if they take 2 dribbles right, they're gonna pull up, and this is the percentage if they do it on this side of the court versus that side of the court. Like, and you have to memorize all that stuff because if you don't apply it to the game, if you do a short closeout on somebody who could shoot, 35% from the top, but from the corner he shoots 45%, and you short closing because you think he's not a good shooter, you subbing out and you're not seeing the court for the rest of the game. So like that educational piece is very important. Like for all the kids that are watching out there, like I know education sometimes like it may seem boring. You don't want to do all the schooling, but it definitely goes hand in hand. And like I said, like if I took St. Mike serious my first year, then I wouldn't have to reclass and go to prep school or not. I'd probably be in a different situation or whatever the case may be.
So you get to South Carolina, 2013, you get to South Carolina. Talk to us a little bit about your first practice. Talk a little bit about, what the expectations were for you going in there. You played with Sindarius for all 4 years. What's your opinion on him? Just the overall experience, the overall mindset going in there. What was it?
So when I took the visit there, I thought that was pretty cool because I was able to take my family there, my pops, my moms, just getting that whole like he got game kind of vibe where it's like, yeah, like Jesus Sons, where we're going on visits, like they're taking me to parties and stuff.
And you're finally seeing girls on campus.
Yeah, girls on campus,
Boy.
unlimited girls. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to go here. My mom's like, you need to see this. Like, yeah. And then in South Carolina, so like I personally never have been to South Carolina before. I've been to Atlanta, I think like once or twice, 'cause I have family over there. I think I've been to like, no, I hadn't even been to North Carolina or Charlotte or nothing. So getting down there and seeing like the landscape, the atmosphere, seeing how like open it is, and like I don't want to say country because like sometimes it's offensive, but like it's very country out there, just like how
Yeah.
much space they have and just like how much land they have. And then coming from Canada, we're so diverse. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm Jamaican. I know somebody who's this, that, Italian. All my friends are basically Italian. Like I'm basically Italian. Like so going there, it's like black or white. Like it's no Asians. It's I mean, there's some Asians, but you know what I'm saying? Like here it's way more
Yeah,
prominent. You see multiple cultures. Over there, it's just basically white.
Yeah, I was about to say it's a lot less diverse over there. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was like a culture shock for me. And then us being from Toronto, it's snowing right now, but over there it never snows. So like it was hot all year round. So that like when I first went there, like Sundari used to clown me all the time. Well, I knew Sundari before because I played with him on the circuit, UIBL circuit. When he was at Oak Hill and he played for I forgot what team he played for, but I was playing for Bounce or whatever. So we kind of became cool there. So on my visit, he was there because he's from South Carolina. So he was just like, yo, come here, like whatever, we're gonna take over all this stuff. So we had a prior relationship. But when I got there, he used to clown me because I had like all hoodies, all like long sleeves, all like like and I was and every day, summer school, I was like sweating going through it. They're like, bro, it's South Carolina, bro. It's gonna be 75 to 100 degrees every day. Like you're not in Toronto no more. So I had to like get a whole new wardrobe, like basically. But my impression, man, I loved it. Like it was a South. Like I said, it was a culture shock though. I'm not gonna lie, because like we had a Confederate flag on our campus like the first 2 years. I was like, yo, it's 2014, 15. How you got a Confederate flag? Like racism is still real. I seen a KKK meeting before, like outside, like 1 in the morning. I'm driving trying to get some insomnia cookies or trying to get cookout or Zaxby's, and I saw like people in the hoods with pitchforks and stuff. Like so, all that kind of stuff just opened my eyes to the world. Because like from Toronto, like we're so sheltered because we have it like privilege because we have healthcare, we have diversity, like all this stuff. So that was kind of like a culture shock for me. And then going there and seeing that like our football stadium seats like 86,000 and they sell out every night. And then our school basketball arena seats like I think it was like 13 something thousand and they sell out like so coming from like an atmosphere where you're playing in front of bleachers and you could hear your mom saying your name to like playing in a crowd with like student sections and cutouts of your head and just like you're playing on the road. I'll never forget going to Gainesville and playing in Florida for the first time. And like they're saying my mom's name, they're saying my brother's name. I think I was doing it at the time. They're saying her name. I'm like, how do you guys know this stuff? Like, student section is saying everything about you. Like they know everything about you. Like so having to play in an environment where it's like stressful and it's very competitive and it's a lot of distractions. Like all that was like something that I looked forward to and I had to embrace when I was there. But I saw the clips of him at K-State. I knew he was a very intense coach. But the crazy thing is when he came to recruit me, he recruited me once at South Carolina at that practice. And then he came to my house in Toronto. And a lot of coaches didn't do that. A lot of coaches, they spoke on the phone, called me every day, sent me letters, mail, whatever. They saw me on the road in the States, but he traveled to Toronto. I'm talking about he flew, got a rental car, and drove to my house. Like, and I thought that was like very impressionable of him. And he, like I said, I have two different families. Like I have two, like my dad's side and my mom's side. So he came to both sides. So like, it's not even like he just met with one side. Like he came to my mom's crib, we ate, and he came to my dad's crib, and we ate. So
that's dope.
For him to do that, it really made me like think like, okay, he cares about me more than just a basketball player. And our whole conversation was never like, you're gonna start, like you're gonna play this amount of minutes, we're gonna make the Final Four, which we ended up doing. Like it was none of that. It was just like, yo, if you give me your son, I promise you he'll be a better man by the time he graduates or decides to leave. And I promise you he'll have better character and I'll take care of him and blase, blase. So it was nothing about the basketball. So my impression going there was like, I had no impression. I was just like, I'm going to just work hard and see what happens. Whatever happens, happens. Because it's not like he promised me playing time. And I know he was the same way with everybody else outside of like some Darius. So I knew I had an opportunity to play right away. And that's pretty much what happened. Again, like I told y'all before, I like to work hard. So I'm like I remember workouts with Kyle Julius, like they'd be like 2 hours, you know what I'm saying? So Frank practices for 3 hours. So I'm used to it. So while other guys are complaining or throwing up or giving attitude, I'm like, all right, bro, you need us to run this play again and again for an hour. I'll do it. I don't care. Like I'm used to it, doing drills for hours and all that stuff. But his practices were super intense, super competitive. They're at least 3 hours long. They were so long that compliance office used to always have to come and be like, I just went into the gym and be like, all right, y'all, like, you only allowed a certain amount of hours per week. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, it was, and talk about fighting. There was so many fights, like practices where, and he's the type of like, you start fighting, he just go sit down and wait till it's done. So you get into it. I swear, you get into it with somebody, you square up, you start throwing hands for like a minute, and then that's it. No one's gonna break it up. Like it's until y'all done, then right back to it, right back to competing. So I kind of like that environment. Yeah, like that old school. Like I like that environment. And that kind of helped me as a player as well. Like just be more physical, be more intense. But yeah, his practices were no joke. And then playing for him, it's like people always see one side. They always see him yelling at players. And first of all, like kids need to understand that whatever high profile major school you go to, like that's the majority of the coaches. Like I just seen my brother's game last week when they beat Michigan State, and the stuff Tom Izzo was saying to his kids, I was like, geez, like reminds me of Frank. Like it's not just him, it's a lot of those coaches. Not saying it's okay or not, but the thing about Frank is he lets you know when you do something well. Like they never talk about that, like how he calls you late at night, texts you, make sure you're good. Like if you like Sindarius, like the kind of life that he lived was very rough, and Frank made sure he was good, like just from a mental standpoint, just from just like resource standpoint. Like he really cares about kids beyond basketball. Like he really helps out people. He gives opportunities to people. And I think that goes like overlooked because of like how passionate he is. And, you know what I'm saying? He yells and turns red and everything, but he's just passionate and he's a very funny guy. And his attention to detail when it comes to film, when it comes to IQs is amazing. And like I said, if you do something good, he's complimenting you, he's pushing you. And I was fortunate enough because I was his first recruiting class. So it was 7 freshmen, 7 of us. So I had an opportunity to play right away. Now, it was tough. I'm not gonna lie. Like we lost a lot that first year. Didn't really have a lot of people in the stands because our school's a football school and a baseball school. Like I think baseball had won like back-to-back championships. Football, we had like Jadeveon Clowney, like all these like crazy like top 10 picks or whatever. So like basketball was like the last thing on their mind. So for me to be a part of something with Sindarius and help build a program to like where it was respected as a basketball school, for me was like really cool as well.
So 2016 you bring in Pete, or 2015 you bring in PJ Dozier, who now plays on Denver, I want to say.
Yeah, Denver Nuggets. Yeah.
Denver. First of all, what was it like? You know, you were starting your first 2 years. What was it like bringing somebody in and kind of in everyone's mind, you know, a 5-star, or I think it was a 4-star recruit at the time, 4-star recruit. You know, you've always been kind of under the radar. What was it like kind of giving up that starting spot?
It was tough. Like we all have egos. So like if anybody said that, it wouldn't be like they're lying. Especially when I came off my sophomore season where I was MVP of the team because Sindarius was kind of hurt. I think he had like some PRP treatments or whatever. So his knees weren't the same. So he wasn't like really playing that well. And so I was leading the team in like points and assists. And like I said, I got MVP of the team for like I got that award. Like I was starting to come into my own. Like I felt like I knew which spots to pick because Frank is an old school coach, like we just talked about. So he runs like a particular offense. It wasn't until like our last year where we started doing ball screens. Like he was so against ball screens. Like he is so old school. He was like, you can't shoot a 3 until the ball touches the paint, until you get a post touch. Like he was emphasizing post touches so much. Our offense was basically like post touches and a lot of like stagger screens and a lot of like curl screens. And like there wasn't no off the dribble shooting, like you're coming out. There wasn't no like ISO, you're coming out. Like, so he played like in a very structured environment, which I kind of sometimes regret. Like I wish I had the opportunity to play like just free and just do what I want, run the show. Sure. But at the same time, it kind of teaches you like just different aspects of basketball, it's like discipline and stuff like that. But anyway, so the first year it was like a struggle for me. Like I had some good games. I had a breakout couple games near the end in the SEC tournament, but throughout the year it was like a struggle. I'm going to Florida. This is when Mike Donovan, who's coaching the NBA now, I'm Billy Donovan, sorry, was coaching the NBA now. he was coaching in Florida, and he was like the trap king. So like I remember one game I had like 9 turnovers in the first half because like I'm getting trapped by like Scotty Wilbekin and like all these kind of players and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm just like getting trapped 24/7. And Frank was like, you know what, I'm gonna keep you in the game so you can set a world record for the most turnovers. Like you gotta think as a freshman, I'm like, holy, like I was like, yeah, like you know. So my sophomore year where I'm like watching more film, I'm starting to pick my spots in the offense. I'm starting to get it.
Yeah.
My third year, I'm like, yeah, I'm about to come in like I might be SEC Player of the Year, and we're touching the tournament for sure. Because my second year, we ended up winning. We won a whole bunch of games. Like we won quite a few games, almost 20 games or whatever. So I was like, my third year, I'm ready. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're mature. I feel like a vet. So when I came back from coming home, I think I played Team Canada or something, but I came back and he sat me down and was like, yeah, like, you know, I made this promise to PJ. I kind of was upset, but 2, I was like, at least he was man enough to tell me, you know, other coaches probably I would have came to practice and like, you know, I'm not starting no more and no explanation. But he came to me. Matter of fact, he actually, I'm not going to say he like asked me, but like he like wanted to make sure I was good with it. He was like, do you mind? Like this will help the team. And he kind of showed me where I would benefit from it, just coming off the bench and having the ball predominantly in my hands because there wouldn't be scores on the bench, which made more sense to me because it's like I was playing with Sendarius where I had to feed him all the time. So now if I and then we had Chris Silva who came after, who's played for the Miami Heat right now, but before that it was like just Sendarius. So now I'm coming off the bench. I'm the number 1 option. So I was with it, but like I said in the beginning, I was kind of hurt. I was like, man, did you not just see what you the one that gave me the MVP award? Like I won it at the athletic banquet. Like how you put me on the bench? I took it as an insult, but that's just being a kid, not understanding. And like I said, I made the most of it coming off the bench. We had a really good season. I think we won like 6 games. We were like the first school to win like 26 games and not make the NCAA tournament. We ended up going to NIT. And PJ like had some up and downs during that year, but it was kind of cool to take him under my wing and kind of like we kind of like help him grow together. Like me and Sendarius helped him grow. And then the next year, which is the sophomore year, when my senior year, like he ended up like killing. So it all worked out.
2017, first of all, congratulations on winning SEC 6 Man of the Year. I guess it really did work out because that was the year you won 6 Man of the Year, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it ended up working out.
So when you won that award, was it kind of like, did you kind of like smile, look at your coach and say, all right, thank you? Like, you know, it wasn't like still like,
It was crazy because I never am to kind of like care about accolades. So when they told me I got the award, I was confused because I didn't know that they had those like kind of awards for college. Like I thought it was just like Wooden National Player of the Year, and then each conference had like their Player of the Year. Like I didn't know that there was like a Defensive Player of the Year, 6 Man of the Year, like all first team, all second team. Like it's the NBA. I didn't know that. So when I think it was like, yeah, it was just like one day where like my phone just started blowing up because they had announced it at the end of the season. And I was just like very fortunate. And like, yeah, like when I spoke to him, I was like, okay, like you knew what she was doing. Like, you know, and it's crazy because, and this is what I still struggle with to this day, because I'm like a very unselfish person. Like anybody who knows me, like when it comes to basketball, I'm super unselfish. So like, I'm always like passing the ball, trying to make the right play. Like I'm always trying to do whatever I can to help the team win. So when he asked me to do that, my family was kind of like, bro, he's asking you because he knows that you're the one that's going to be like, whatever we need to do to get the team to win, I'll do it. Whereas other guys would have bad attitude and be like, nah, I'm not trying, like, nah, like, no, like, so they kind of wanted me to take that route, low key. They was like, yo, like, just stick up for yourself and just be like, because I struggle with that where sometimes I'm just like passive because I'm like trying to do what's best for the team, where I want to like be over aggressive sometimes and I want to like take control. So dealing with that struggle with him was kind of like an example of that. But like you said, it ended up working out. And yeah, like I got that award and we talked about it and like we laughed. It was funny and now I have it forever. So at the end of the day, it worked out.
2016, you guys come in there. You know, you have two future, well, yourself included too. You know, you have a bunch of NBA guys, a bunch of G League guys, a bunch of overseas guys. What was the mindset going into that year? Obviously, that was one of your most successful years in basketball history in that school. But what was your mindset? What was your teammates' mindset? What was the atmosphere like in the locker room going into that year?
Okay, so I remember how I told you guys there was 7 of us freshmen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so now you're all seniors.
Now there's only 3 of us.
Oh,
So basically, every year a lot you gotta think, man, with these high profile schools, even like with Coach Calipari, like I'm cool with him because him and Frank are like best friends. So even at Kentucky, like these transfer rates are extremely high because a lot of kids can't play for these kind of coaches.
Yeah.
So I done seen like 15 teammates from when I was a freshman to a senior, like come and go, like just sophomore year, like PJ had like 6 guys with him, like they didn't make it. like a lot of people like would leave because they just can't handle it.
Yeah.
So my mindset was like, okay, every year we gotten better, we built. Sindarius had an opportunity to be one and done because his freshman year he had an unreal season, and he came back because he like from South Carolina. Like that was the whole thing of why PJ and Sindarius came to our school, was because they wanted to like emphasize in-house recruiting because a lot of kids from South Carolina would be going to other schools.
Yeah.
So it's like that's why we almost had Zion, because Zion's from South Carolina. So Zion was coming to all of our games my last year, like all of our home games. We was taking them out. We was like trying to convince him to come. Yeah. But his mom was like, it was between us or Clemson, who are like, we beef with Clemson, like they're like the next South Carolina school. But his mom looked at our school as a football school. So she was like, I don't want my son to go there. Like we need him to go somewhere where, I mean, obviously he's going to the league, but we need him to go somewhere where like he could like really just show himself. So, but anyways, so yeah, just our mindset was like, I forgot I think our mantra was like unfinished business or like, yeah, something like that, or like the last dance, like something like that, like the world tour. We had like a mantra. I know unfinished business was our team mantra, but like we had like amongst myself and the other senior Justin Mackey, we had like this mantra where like we just like knew like, all right, bro, Sindarius could have went to the NBA like 2 times. He could have went his freshman year, he could have went his junior year, but he decided to come back and try to make history. Like we had to do it. Like. So our mindset was like, whatever freshman or sophomore that we had, if they was slacking, like we was on their ass. So basically, it got to a point where Frank didn't have to do all that yelling because Sindarius and myself and Justin were like the leaders of the team. Well, we would hold people accountable. We'd hold each other accountable. If Sindarius had a bad game or wasn't doing what he's supposed to be doing, I would tell him, and he wouldn't get offended. Because that's my boy. That's one of my best friends. He wouldn't get sensitive about it. If I was like BSing on defense or BSing on whatever offense, he would tell me, and I wouldn't take it to heart. I would just, all right, boom, this is what we got to do to get better, because we knew it was at stake. And because of that, everything else fell into line. And we started beating, like, I remember we slapped Michigan by like 20. We slapped Baylor by 20. We was beating all these like high-profile teams by like 20. We killed Syracuse by 20. Like, and so we're like, yeah, we definitely like touching the tournament. And as that continued to happen, we just got more confident. But then once we hit SEC play, bro, SEC's a dog. I'm biased, so I think it's one of the best leagues out there. But it's definitely a top Power Five conference. Yeah. But like I said, every year you're playing like Georgia, then you're playing like I'm playing Missouri against Jordan Clarkson. I'm playing, like I'm playing Kentucky. After Kentucky, you got to play Florida, and after Florida, you got, So every game, it's like there's no really game you could take off. So we kind of like hit like a little spot where we kind of started losing a little bit, but we ended up like finishing strong. And the year before that, like I said, when we won 25, 26 games, we had like a party, a viewing party. And when our name didn't get called, man, we was just so upset. And a lot of guys kind of left the room, but like me, Sindarius, and Justin, we stayed in there and we watched the whole selection Sunday because we wanted to remember how we felt when we didn't get picked. And we kind of used that as motivation for the next year. And then, so this time around, we had selection Sunday. We didn't even have a viewing party because we was like, man, forget that. Because the year before that, like I said, we had T-shirts made. We had like family and friends coming through, viewing party, getting ready. So we're like, nah, we're not doing that this year. So we got picked. We had like a little like team thing, like a little team party. But the year before that, we had like a big like fans and like boosters and it was just kind of embarrassing. But that year, my senior year, we had a viewing party. We saw our name get picked. We're like, yes, like finally we get the credit we deserve. Because basically the year before that, they said that we didn't have enough like quality wins or whatever. Like we was beating teams that weren't ranked and stuff. So it didn't matter that we won 25 games. So we had to go to the NIT. This time we get picked. We see our name. We're like, all right, boom, we're playing in South Carolina. We're playing in Greensville, which is like an hour and a half away from our school. So we're like, man, this is like a home game. And we're playing Marquette, a school that I could have went to, a school that I love, like a school that, you know what I'm saying, has been good to Canadians. My big bro, junior.
Now it's business.
Yeah. So I'm like ready, bro. After that, we seen like if we win that game, we got Duke. We was like, oh, all right, bro. Like,
before you get there, you put me in a very tough spot that game. I'm a Duke fan. You put me in a very tough spot. I was like, no.
I was in the same spot as you. I was like, man, like, no lie, we only packed like one set of boxers because we thought we was going to like maybe beat Marquette. And then like that's it. We getting smacked going home. So like we was like, it's been fun. Like it's cool. We made history. We finally made the tournament. We've been a tournament since like whatever. Yeah. I forgot how long they had. I think they had a tournament since like 2004. And then they had never won a game in a tournament, like or something like they hadn't won the game in a tournament since like 1960 something when it was in a different conference, something like that. Yeah. So we was like, at least we like got this far, like we're good. They had Jason Tatum, they had Luke Kennard, they had Grayson Allen, they had Harry Giles, they had Frank Jackson or whoever the dude is that played for, I forgot his name. He like light skin. Yeah. So they had like all five, the whole starting five in the NBA right now, and they're like the whole starting five is like NBA, like they contribute, they play. So we're like, man. So we end up going there. We beat a very very talented Marquette. We ended up like beating them by 20, which is pretty dope. And then the next game, yeah. So we start playing, like we start warming up, and then I don't know, like there was definitely nervous energy from like my teammates and stuff. But like I was looking at them like, man, they just like, bro, they gotta tie their shoes like how we gotta tie our shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's Jason Tatum, but who cares? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he bleed like red, like how we bleed red. Like I don't care. Like, so we ended up playing after the first. Because the first media timeout was like 16 or something minutes. When it was the first media timeout and it was like a close game, like it was like whatever, 8-8 or whatever. I'm like, bro, and we were feeling them. We're like, yo, they don't respect us. Like, let's use this against them. And we outworked them and we outplayed them. We ended up like, it was a good game, but we ended up beating them pretty like significantly. I think by like 13 or something like that. And from there, that's when like the whole Cinderella story kind of vibe kept going, where it was like, okay, we have a chance to do something special, yo. Like we have. Like, let's just whatever. And the real cool thing about it was our girls team is like hands down, like it's like UConn.
Yeah.
It's like it's UConn and I forgot who the other girls team that's like always usually good, but like Notre Dame. It's like UConn, Notre Dame, and it's like our school. Them three are always historically the best like female women's basketball teams. So when we would win the first two games, they would win the first two games. Then when we go to Sweet 16, they'd go to Sweet 16. So it's pretty dope. So every time you play, because you have to play a game, then if you win, you play another game, then you go back to your school for like the week. So we come back to school and they won too. So it was like we both won and we're both advancing in the tournament. So what ended up happening was our headmaster, our dean and all that, he canceled school for for a couple of days because he was like, yo, the women's team in basketball is like out here doing anything. The men's team is doing anything. So like we was having pep rallies. So like all that kind of helped too. And like even like in my classes, bro, like all my teachers were like, yo, don't worry about no final exam. Don't worry about, I swear, like, don't worry about no tests. Don't worry about no final exams because March Madness is in March and like exams are like in April. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? So all my end of exams, like end of classes to graduate stuff was like coming up. They was like, don't even worry about it. We passing you. Like you getting 100. Like,
Thank you.
Because you got to think like, these are, and that's why I said at the beginning, like in the South is so different. Because like here, yeah, we take sports is like, okay, it's cool. I mean, it's getting more popular now, especially because the Raptors won. But over there, they die like for football and basketball, bro. Like they really live and breathe it. Especially in South Carolina, they have no pro team. All they have is the Charlotte Hornets, and that's in North Carolina. And that's like an hour and a half away. So South Carolina is all baseball, basketball, and football. So my teachers were like crying, sending me emails like, yo, like, my dad's dad went to the school. My grandfather went to the school. Like he would be so happy, like if he was alive right now, like you're in the tournament. So like it was bigger than us. So all that made us like really put our best foot forward, and then we just kept advancing. We played Baylor, who we played already earlier, so we like beat them. Then we're in Madison Square Garden. We had to play Florida, who we lost to twice in our conference. So we're kind of like, this might be the end right here. But we were rolling, like I don't know, we were just rolling. We ended up beating Florida. And then, yeah, we finally go to the Final Four, and that was like an experience that I'll never forget, man. Playing in like a football stadium in Arizona where the Cardinals play, the amount of fans that were there, getting to share that experience with my family. My family, NCAA did a cool thing that year where they let you like they allocated a certain amount of money so you could like give it to your family so they could like travel to the games. So like my family came to all the games, which is like my mom had never seen me play in person like for a minute because she don't like to fly, so she didn't want to come to South Carolina and like the work and all that stuff. So I had my whole family there, my brother, like all that. Like it was pretty dope, that experience in the Final Four, and we got rings for it and all that. So like we went down in history. Even after the game, like everyone was crying. We had fans everywhere crying like there. It was pretty dope, man. We had a hotel in the Final Four, each team gets one hotel. So we had our own hotel and it was done up like the street name was like South Carolina Way. And like in the hotel, there was like big banners of like me and Sindarius. Like it was so dope. So it's like to have my mom, my grandma see that, like for me, it was just like it'll never compare. Like we couldn't even, and there were so many fans, we couldn't even like go to the hotel the right way. We had to go through the back, through the kitchen, and then go to like the service elevators. And we had bodyguards on like all of our floors. Like it was pretty intense. Like we were getting a whole bunch of gifts from the NCAA, like shoes and all this kind of stuff. So being in the Final Four is something I'll never forget, man.
I would say one thing, man. You know, the game in the Elite Eight when you were playing Duke. Listen, I'm a diehard Duke fan, like diehard, to the point where I was actually like, funny story. So 1992, Christian Laettner hit the game-winning shot. My mom went into labor an hour after that.
Oh
so
wow!
If I wasn't Jewish, my name would have been Christian. So
I remember
that
shot too. That shot was crazy.
Right. So I got born into a Duke family.
Yeah. Okay. So I understand.
So not the fact that I knew you, I was like, bro, this guy's making it so hard for me now. Like I want to cheer for you because you're my boy, but then I'm like, I'm a Duke fan, you know what I'm saying? So like I was happy regardless though, but like I'm not gonna lie, that game and when you guys were playing against Duke, you guys turned up the last 5 minutes of the game. Last 5 minutes of the game, you guys turned up. I don't remember if you guys put on a press or what it was, but I think you guys were
pressing, yo, we was flipping everything, yeah.
And you got, I think you got the final one of the final and one. Did that really put you guys over the edge? And I remember your face came on the camera too, and you were screaming like you're really hyped up and everything.
But it's crazy because that's not me. Like I'm not a rah kind of guy. Like my brother is like, you know, he talked that talk. Like I don't really talk trash when I hoop. Like even if someone's talking trash to me, like I rather just like I'm hooping. Like I don't really care. Like I know I'm nice, so like whatever you say is not gonna affect me. And I have nothing to say back to you. I'm gonna let my game do the talking. And then the whole like, you know, people like when they dunk or like they yell, and I don't really be doing all that. But some took over me that game, like, and it was a really good game. I think I had like 17 or 19 points against Duke. And like you said, like growing up, you're like for you, like how you just said about Christian Laettner is how I felt about Coach K. Like,
yeah,
like I'm playing defense and I'm looking to the right and I'm seeing Coach K. I'm like, this is Coach K, bro. Like,
right?
Like he looked like it. Like he like, bro, he looked like a god. Like,
sir,
like, bro. I'm like, man, like I'm used to seeing him on TV and movies, like, and he just there coaching and he was pissed and like I loved it. And then after the game, like shaking his hand and him saying what he said to me, like just like how he liked the way I play and just like all this stuff, like I was like, man, that's like a dream come true. And like I swear, like it looked like he was floating. It didn't even like he was walking. Like that's how magical he is, man. Coach K was a special like individual, man. Like he just like his aura is crazy. So like all that was like the cookie on top, just to like do that with Coach K.
Hey, man.
You gotta understand, like at the time you're in the NCAA, you know, your senior year. You know, it's my first year transfer from JUCO into Albany. And like at the time, it's fair to say that there wasn't as much Canadians in the NCAA. Yeah, you were in there. So we're watching the game. We're watching the whole run in the locker room. I didn't have a TV. We're sitting in the locker room. I'm screaming at the TV. And you got to understand the same way you see Coach K, the same way we saw you like that at the time. Because we're like, yo, we don't have a lot of guys, bro. When somebody gets to the March Madness, when somebody goes D1, that's a big deal for us.
Yeah.
So I want you to realize that yourself. Like that run was so historical for Canadian history, and guys in the NCAA, guys in high school, elementary school, they look up to and they want to get there one day. That run will always be something that we always remember.
Nah, I appreciate it. You're right though, because that's kind of how I didn't feel that way, but when I was hooping in it, I was like, man, I don't know who else really like was doing this outside of like one of my good friends, Kevin Pangos, when he played for Gonzaga, him and Kelly, I think Pangos touched the Elite Eight. Like, but outside of that, even then it was like they wasn't really showing stuff on TV like that. So like, I'm like, man, I'm playing against Duke. Like, man, all the guys I heard about that went there. I didn't really get to see it. I had to watch it on YouTube because, like I said, they wasn't doing it. But like, yeah, the opportunity was like, I'll never forget that, John. And then we got rings. I got to cut the net down. Like all that stuff that you dream about as a kid. Like it was like we basically won a championship because like you get commended for going that far.
For sure. 2017 after March Madness comes your.
I'm by the way, I'm so mad we lost that. Like I'll never like live that down.
Oh, yeah. I can only that probably.
Oh my God, that was the game. Listen, what's his name? Oh man, I forgot his name, but the point guard, that went to that school. Nigel Williams-Goss. Nigel Williams-Goss could not shoot. It's sort of, I don't know if it's sort of like the Raptors game yesterday I was watching where I'm seeing Bledsoe go crazy. I'm like, yo, you don't even like this is not your game. Like how are you out here like that? Yeah. So scouting report, he shot like 20-some% from the three. So like he's an under like ball screen, re-screen, you going under. Bro, Nigel Williams hit like 6 or 7 threes.
Fired up, yeah.
And it's one of those games where coaches like just stick with the principles. I'm like, bro, he's murdering. I'll never forget that. Anderson Darius had he had the flu. So he missed shoot around. He missed practice before that. So he wasn't really playing as like how well as he should have been playing. But then he ended up playing well at the end. And we were like, oh man, it was like a minute left and we were down by like 1. And one of our freshman point guard went to the basket, got blocked. And yeah, but I'll never forget that game though.
Well, I mean, like you said, at least you're able to fulfill something in your collegiate career at that point, right? Obviously, it sucks you guys didn't have the storybook ending, but your story kind of reminded me a little bit of George Mason. I think it was in 2004 or 2003 or whatever it was. George Mason University, they were a very small school, not really being known. They beat a whole bunch of schools, made it to the Final Four. You know what I mean? And they didn't win, but everybody knows about, if you watch college basketball from that time as well, like people will always remember that time as well. So, kind of like what Devontae said, like you kind of touched upon as well, being a Canadian, be able to be that, on Sportsnet, on TSN, the score at the time, I think it was I think we still had the score around at that time.
Yeah.
So to be able to be on those type of networks, and your face was like the final face pretty much.
Yeah.
You guys over the edge. Canadian basketball will definitely remember that for a long time. So it definitely sucks that like you guys didn't win, but hey, you helped revolutionize Canadian basketball to today.
And the crazy thing is, like, people don't understand how hard that is. Like, even I didn't understand how hard it was because I was in it. When I look back on it, I'm like, there's 300 and some teams in D1, and then for the tournament, I forgot how many it is, but then they keep breaking it down, and it's single elimination. You're not playing at home. It's like a lot. Like it's so much. Like it's hard to get there, but to even win and continue winning, it's like extremely, extremely, extremely tough. Like because you're playing in a foreign environment, the crowd is unreal. Like you have to do like Final Four, and NCAA is like a money grab. So it's just a whole bunch of like interviews and this and that. So you're not even like really focused on basketball. You got to do all this extra stuff. Yeah. And then for me, like the highlight for me was like when I dunked against Florida because I but I didn't really dunk like that. So my teammates like used to always clown me like warm-ups, they like doing everything. Warm-ups, I'm just out here shooting threes. And they're like, yo, like, can you still dunk, bro? Like, so when I got the opportunity, PJ stripped him and he threw me the ball and I dunked it. I was
adrenaline,
like,
yo.
Yeah, like, yeah. But yeah.
So after your college career, you go play for the 905. We're talking a little bit about Canadian basketball. What was that? First of all, what was that experience like playing for the only Canadian NBA teams, G League team? And on top of that, what was it kind of like? Was it kind of hard for you to have all those NBA guys come down, go back up, come down, go back up? Because when we're in college, like you said, you're always the first one there in the gym, last one to leave. You're one of the hardest workers. You love your teammates. You love being a team guy. You're used to having your teammates be in every practice. So what was it like now having those guys come up and down, up and down, up and down? Whether it was ruining the chemistry, helping the chemistry, and also the psychological aspect for you, when you're playing and now you might not be playing, whatever case is too. So talk to us a little bit about your experience with that.
Well, for me, I was grateful to play for them because coming out of school, I kind of had taken the wrong advice. Again, just coming from a family of Jamaicans, we weren't really educated, like around the whole basketball stuff. So I had signed to an agency that probably I shouldn't have signed to, and I ended up going overseas to Poland for like 5 months, and I wasn't getting paid on time. I wasn't getting the car like I was supposed to. Like my living situation was poor. Like, so I ended up like they wanted to, because I was complaining about a breach of contract. They wanted to make it as miserable as possible because in my contract, if I left on my own, they wouldn't be obligated to pay me what they owed me. So I had to stick it out for like an extra 2 months and be in a situation where I'm like in a 1 bedroom, like infested place. Like no one speaks English. It's kind of like the small part of Poland, so it's kind of racist. Like I never left my house. Like I kind of got like depressed, bro. I was like, I don't even want to play ball ever again. So when I was able to finally get out that situation, like took on the court and all that stuff, and I got back to Toronto that following like that Christmas, I had a relationship with Keza, one of my best friends who plays for 905, but with this guy named Nate Mitchell, who's one of the player development coaches for the Charlotte Hornets. Yeah. So he was like, yo, like just come, like just work out. So I'd work out before 905 would have practices, and Jerry Stackhouse used to have like morning practices. So I used to come like 6, 7 in the morning and work out before they practice and then leave before they would get there. And I started like falling in love with the game again and just like, okay, like getting back to it. And that's when he was like, yo, like I think Jerry might leave next year. I might be the head coach. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you should come play for us. So I was excited. And I ended up playing with Team Canada, like senior men's national team. And then I played with 905. So I was just grateful they gave me the opportunity. Nate ended up leaving, but the new head coach, Jama, who was from the Raptors, like we had a good relationship. And similar to the Frank thing, man, like I was just fortunate enough because, like I said, I was in a horrible situation in Poland. So I was like, I'll take anything, like anything y'all give me. I don't care if I got to play the 5, like you know what I'm saying, as long as I'm part of the team. So I ended up like outworking people in training camp, and because like they didn't expect it, they told me this themselves. Like they was like, we know you from the city and we know you're good, but we didn't expect you like to start you like and all this stuff. So I ended up like starting, and it was a great experience because like I'm playing in Mississauga. Some games we're playing in the Scotiabank Arena. You know, NBA schedule, we're going on the road, and I get the support from my family coming to all my games. My sisters can watch me play in person for the first time. They're like 8 and 6 years old, so they're like baby sisters. And just having that, being a part of like some love, because like I was like away from love for so long when I was in Poland. So, but to talk about what you're talking about, like, yeah, like professional level, even NCAA level is very political. So you have to like try to outwork that. It's kind of hard to like you could work as hard as you want, but like if they have their eye on somebody, they're gonna want to play that person. They're gonna want to utilize that person. So we had a couple, you know, 2 ways or a couple people that would come down. Like they would send down, like last year they used to send down Stanley Johnson like to us all the time. So if they send down Stanley Johnson and Matt Thomas, like whoever's a guard is not playing that game because like they're playing the whole game. Because like how it works is like in the NBA, if these guys, so our 2 ways, Jordan Lloyd and Chris Boucher at the time, and I forgot who they used to send down Malcolm Miller and they used to send down Malachi Richardson, and they sent down somebody else. But if they got sent down, whoever was in that position, you're not playing, because the reason why they're being sent down is because in the NBA, they're either not getting playing time. And if you guys know, like in the NBA, we don't really practice like that. So that's one of my biggest adjustments is like in the G League, we don't really practice. Like you have training camp, 2 hard weeks of training camp or 1 week of training camp. After that, you don't practice because this whole load management thing has kind of taken over. So they think, you know, you play so many games that we need to kind of like, you know, preserve your bodies. So if you're not playing, it's so tough because it's like, if you're on the end of the rotation, it's like, how do you prove yourself to get into rotation when we don't practice? Like, you know what I'm saying? How do you stay in shape, get better if you don't practice? So they send the NBA guys down and it'll suck because it'll mess you up. So you just gotta kind of take it for what it is. But the good thing about the G League is that they're upfront with you about it. They'll tell you like, yo, if we send these, if the guys get assigned down, you're not playing, it is what it is. Like you just make the most of it. Next opportunity you get, be ready. Because those guys don't stay down forever. They might come down for a game or 2, then they go back. It's rare that they send somebody down for a long time. And then I was fortunate enough because Boucher was a big man. And then Malcolm Miller was kind of like a 3-4. And then Jordan Lloyd, the random guy in the suit, he's like a 1-2. So like I was still able to get playing time. And that first year, like I loved it. Like it was amazing. Like I had a great experience playing with them. But like you said, it was hard to navigate being someone who's used to structure where it's like, yeah, I know I'm gonna practice for 2 hours every day. Nah, like with them, it's like travel days, we're not practicing. Like shoot arounds were literally like you could have your shoes untied, like you could like wear sweats and like a hoodie. Like where literally walkthroughs are literally walkthroughs. Like I'm used to like Frank Martin shoot arounds is like taped and brace. Like the morning of the game is taped and brace. We're running through scout teams plays and we're going at like a hard level. Like you're sweating. It's basically practice, even though you have a game that night at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. In the league, shoot around at 10 a.m. is like get some spot up shots, get some treatment, like walk through a play, and that's it. Like it ain't like no intensity, no, they don't want guys getting hurt. So I had to adjust to that because I'm so used to that kind of mentality where it's like I'm trying to stay at the practice and get shots up, and they're like telling me like, "Yo, like go rest, like go take care of your body." I'm like, "What?" Like I thought it was all working hard and like doing all this stuff. So I had to learn like that when it comes to the pro level. If you want to get better, you have to do it on your own time. Like 905, we didn't have mandatory lifts. Like college, the reason why I'm so big is because in university, we had a football coach and you had to lift for like 5 days out of the 7 days of the week. You had to lift. No, actually, we had to lift 6 out of the 7 days of the week. We only had 1 day off. Even during season, it went to like 5 out of 7. But off season was 6 out of 7. Like Monday upper, Tuesday lower, Wednesday full body, Thursday off, Monday upper. Like it was like that. So and he used to like, I used to be pushing like, I used to be lifting the most on the team, and I'm like, yo, I'm a guard, and he like, but we had those like weight coaches that were just like amped, like like it's just always like
they
crazy.
don't give a damn. They
don't
trying
care,
to get
bro.
you stronger.
Put another plate on there. We don't care. Like, I'm like, hey, I'm getting way too big, bro. Like they trying to recruit me for football. Like you bugging. So going to the G League where it's like they don't require you to lift. It's like, okay, you have this time to lift. And if you don't go, no one's going to be on your ass like, yo, you didn't come to weights. You're not going to get in trouble. So the pro level is like all about personal accountability. Like I said, like you want to get into the gym on your own time, you got to do it because they're not going to be like, yo, you have practice today for 2 hours. They don't do that in the NBA. Like it's not about that. So I had to learn that. But yeah, as far as the guys coming in and out, like at first it was kind of weird because like I'll never forget like the first game I played with 905, I had like 19 points. I was averaging like 15, and then like I remember one game I had like a 20 like 9-point game or something like that against the Bulls. And the next game they sent like 2 players down. I didn't play, and I was like I didn't get it. I was like, fam, like,
and that's when you realize, that this is real business.
Yeah, that's when I realized, yeah, this is a business. Like, I'm like, bro, we just one-handedly, and I just scored almost 30. Like, and I had an efficient game. I was passing the ball, like I was defending, like. No, I didn't even touch I touched the court for like 2 seconds, if that. Like, I didn't even touch the court. So, like, from there, I had guys like Jordan Lloyd, who's older than me, that, like, explained me the business. Like, don't take it personal, bro. It happens. Like, it's like me. Like, he's like, when I go to the Raptors and they're up by 20, they still don't put me in. Like, they're still, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just is what it is, bro. Like, so I had to get used to that. So it depends on the situation you're in, but that's kind of how it is in the G League.
Matt, I want to talk to you a little bit about Matt Thomas because Matt Thomas is a prolific shooter, and obviously you know like you said yourself in warm up and stuff, you'd be the one shooting the threes and really trying to work on your shooting craft and stuff like that. What did you ever? First of all, what did you learn from him just in the shooting aspect of everything? Because that boy could shoot. That boy could flat out shoot. And did
he the best shooter I've ever seen in my life. I go on record saying that he the greatest shooter I've ever seen in my life.
Oh wow!
Because I played summer league with the Raptors 2 years ago, so he came from Europe. Craziest story, well, not story, but I actually played against Matt Thomas when he was at school. He went to Iowa State. My sophomore year, we had upset Iowa State. They had Naz, who's from Mississauga. Y'all know Naz Long, and they had the dude from the Denver Nuggets, the point guard, Monte Morris. They had Monte Morris.
Oh, that was a tough squad.
Yo, they had Monte Morris. They had Naz. They had Matt Thomas, and they had Georges Niang, who's also in the NBA, the big. So we upset them. So I knew Matt. Then he went to Europe. So when the Raptors were like, okay, we're gonna sign him, I'm like, man, who is this? Like, man, they always give opportunities to everybody, but like, like the Canadians, like people that I feel like should deserve it. Not saying just me, but like my boy Tyler Ennis, other guys that I feel like, yo, they should like play for the Raptors. Like, why not? And yo, yeah, summer league, he came, bro, and I remember working out with him. Man, he was. Man, great shooter I ever see. Cause like I played with Brady Heslip. I don't know if you guys know him, but he's
Baylor, all that.
I've seen him literally shoot like with the lights out, like and not miss. But man,
that's Jay Triano's nephew, no?
Yeah, Jay Chetter's nephew. So especially when we play like OVO bounce or like whatever, Team Canada or Brady is something serious. Like he got the whip ball for sure. But bro, working out with Matt, I was working out on the side, and then we work out together. Or then sometimes when I see him work out, bro, he was doing drills where like literally, I put this like God strike me down if I'm lying. There's one time like where he was shooting out of 100, and like for me, if I'm shooting out of 100 and I'm considered like a good shooter, like I'm making like high 70s, like on a unrealistic day where I'm like feeling really good, maybe like low 80s, mid 80s. But like if you're like out of 100, if you're making like 70, like you're above average. You're like by far above average shooter, bro. He made 98, bro. I promise you, I swear to God, bro. When he missed his first shot, he kicked the ball
pissed
so far. Someone broke the backboard. I said, "Fam, you made like, like, bro, you made like 70 straight, bro. How are you upset? Like, I would never get. Like, I'll get upset when I miss like 3 in a row, maybe 2. Bro, he made 98 out of 100. I said, no way. And then if you look, like, I'm not into stats and all that, but his true like shooting percentage is something super. Like he's one of the best shooters like ever. So his preparation is crazy. He like stay locked in. He has the same technique, and he works on like volume shooting, but at game speed. Like I think that's like what a lot of people don't. Even I don't do that sometimes. Like I find myself starting to like just shoot. He'll like catch ball low, catch ball high, like bad passes, like shoot real quick, like one dribble to the side, one dribble to the left, like step backs. Like he really has so many counters, like pump fakes, like shooting off pump fakes. He's the first one I've seen do that. Like catch the ball, like you pump fake and you shoot it right away, like reload and shoot it. Like he's such a great shooter. His preparation is amazing. So it was never like nothing because he didn't play with us at Summer League. He signed straight to the Raptors. So when he got his opportunity to play last year and even this year, like I'm not surprised about what he's doing because like his preparation is crazy.
Mm-hmm. So I want to know, just other than Matt Thomas, you play with Terrence Davis as well, and I feel like this year Terrence Davis should be getting a lot more playing time. Or at least he was on the roster for the Summer League. I know that, but I don't know if he's actually.
Yeah, he came. We played 3 games. He came on the 3rd game. Again, another guy where I was like, bro, I haven't even gotten in the game yet. Y'all just out here signing guys and bringing them and then just putting them in. Like, can I get an opportunity?
Yeah.
Shit, I saw why. He came in. He came in like because he went to Mississippi, right? He went to Mississippi. Ole Miss, yeah.
Did you ever play him?
No, I never played him.
Little...
Dang, I don't remember because we're around the same age. I think he's like a year younger, maybe. But like, I don't remember him like. I don't know if he didn't play that year or what, but I don't remember him like that. But anyways, he came that Summer League. He didn't practice with us. He didn't work out with us. He came and he scored like 20 points and then the next game, like I was looking for him. It was like, yeah, he going to work out with the Raptors. Like he's not with us no more. I'm like, I see why, bro. He could really score like when he wants to. He's athletic. Yeah, he's really and he's not afraid, man. He has confidence. He takes the shots that some people like wouldn't take. But he's very skilled, man. He's very skilled.
Now, so I don't know exactly when it was, what year you played for Team Canada, but you got an opportunity to play for Team Canada as well. You got to play alongside all these NBA guys and stuff. Actually, I don't know if all the NBA guys played, but I know that a few of them did play. What did you take away from being around all these NBA guys in general? Just at the aspect of you're trying to become a pro, NBA guy yourself. You're already a pro, but you're trying to become an NBA guy yourself. What were some things that you were able to really take to your game, because obviously Andre Drummond helped you to work on one thing. Matt Thomas, you realized how much better a shooter you had to be with, going up against Matt Thomas, everybody else in general, just all these NBA guys and coaches and stuff.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate. It's certainly weird. I wish I could explain to you. I could try to, but at the senior level right now, it's like they're doing these windows in FIBA. So usually the windows are like in November, in like February, and then in like June or July. And those windows are like you'll go to a country and play like them twice, or they'll come to here and play twice, wherever the site is. And those games in that pool will contribute to like the FIBA World Cup. And then the FIBA World Cup is what helps you qualify for the Olympics or like all that kind of stuff. It's all connected. So like what you just said, sometimes the NBA players can't play because whether they're in season or in Tristan's case, like most of the time Tristan was always in the playoffs. So it's like he just needs a break, bro. Like he just came from playing to the finals with LeBron because LeBron taking these guys to the finals every time. So like you can't ask him, like, you know, most NBA players get a summer, but he's not getting a summer because he's playing deep into the summer. And then you want him to play for Team Canada. Like he just like needs some time to spend time with his family, like with the Kardashians and all that. Like, so sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. But yeah, like I'm very fortunate to have a relationship with Tristan Thompson, Kelly Olynyk, like someone that I work out with a lot and like play with a lot, and he's taught me so much. And then Corey Joseph, like I've known since a kid, but just having the opportunity to play Team Canada with him and like him like impart his wisdom on me from what he's learned from the NBA, and just a solid individual, a solid guy. He always like takes me in case after practices will show us some stuff, and like whether it's ball handling or like how to read pick and rolls or like you know, he's a great defender. So like me being someone who takes pride in defense, he's always like showing me little tricks and nuances and stuff like that. Like I said, Kelly like is a hard worker, bro. First of all, I don't know how he works out in a baseball cap all the time, whatever, but he's the only guy that I work out with, bro. You gotta fit it and you gotta kill it. But yeah, he's always like expanding his game and working on different aspects of his game. And then just having the opportunity to play with those NBA guys has always been a cool opportunity, and then learn from some of the best coaches as well, from, you know, Dave Smart to like Roy Rana to you name it. Jay Triano, like I have a relationship with him because he coached in Canada for a minute, Leo Rawlings and those kind of guys. And so I had the opportunity to be around a lot of NBA guys, especially now that we have way more Canadians in the NBA. Last year during training camp, like you had, you know, it's Shea, Nikhil, like it's who you want. Like everybody's there. RJ was there. He was kind of hurt, so he didn't like play with us. Jamal Murray was nursing an injury, but he was there. So getting an opportunity, just like, I mean, I knew him before, but getting an opportunity to build a relationship, shoot around with him and just like stuff like that. You could always like take something from anybody. Like no matter if they're younger than you, older than you, the same age, like you could always learn. And that's what I love about life. Like you always could, the beauty of us is that we don't know everything. So getting the opportunity to continue to learn is always been special for me.
Well, last question. We're gonna hit the quick hitter with Devontae, but I just want to know. I know this past summer, you know, you suffered a pretty bad injury, and we just want to know. I seen you working out with Fitz. I seen you working back in the gym again and doing your thing. What was it like psychologically to A, get injured, B, you know, being the guy that you are, who's always active and being up and running all the time, to now having to, I don't know for sure, but I'm going to assume to lay on your bed, you know, 24/7 and not be able to walk and not be able to do what you want to do.
Yeah. So initially what happened was, you know, I'm coming off like a 905 season where for the first time in my life, I'm getting DMPs. Like I'm not playing because we had, you know, Tyler Ennis, NBA player. So he was trying to get back into the league. So the Raptors wanted to look at him. So they're playing him a lot, but we're like best friends. So like, you know, I had the opportunity to like learn, see different, because he played for the Lakers and Houston Rockets and Phoenix Suns and the Bucks. So to pick his brain and just like from not just a friendship level, but from an actual point guard level. And then we had Duane Evans, who played for the Clippers. We had a whole bunch of NBA guys, yo. So like we had O'Shea that they're like trying to look at. Yeah. So it was tough for me to get on the court. So there was nights where like I was playing the 4, bro. Like I was playing the 4, like I'm 6'2", 6'3", and I'm playing like I have pictures of me guarding Taco Fall, bro. Like yeah, because one thing about me is that like I play defense. So like in the league, if you play defense, they're gonna keep you on the court. Like even if you're not making shots, even if you're not playing well, like so I was still able to find time, but they had to find time for me in different positions. So I was playing like the 4 and stuff. Then there was games where they were sending out Matt Thomas, like I said. So I was getting like DMPs, and I never did not plays in my life. So I was kind of like unhappy. And then after that, COVID hits, like right when we were about to make the playoffs for the Eastern Conference. Like it was like we had like 8 more games left of the season, and COVID hit. We had just beat Atlanta in Atlanta. Then we came back home and we beat Atlanta at home. And yeah, like literally that day we walk into the locker room after the win. We're all happy, like yeah, we just need 3 more wins, and we got like the 6th spot or whatever. And then that's when coach got like a call from Nick Nurse, they real close. And they were just like, yeah, like, oh, I'll probably say, but Nick Nurse too, like being our head coach for Team Canada, like he something different. Like I love to play for Nick. Like he gives you so much confidence. Like I know you guys watch basketball, so you see when Fred takes those deep shots, it's because Nick Nurse like encourages that. Like Nick Nurse saw like Pangos working out after practice, and we were shooting and stuff, and he was like, "What? Like, why don't you shoot it from 28 feet?" Pangos was like, "Because that's like like 3 feet behind the line, like whatever the case may be." He's like, "But you can make it, right?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You work on it." He's like, "Yeah, I shoot it sometimes." He's like, "So shoot it." Like that's the kind of coach he was. Like he's really like, if it's there, shoot it, bro. Like I don't care if it's that far, shoot it. So that's why you see Fred take those deep shots sometimes. But anyways, back to what was I saying before that? Yeah, so I had the DMPs. COVID came, COVID hit, COVID whatever. We were on lockdown for a hot minute, so we didn't know if the season was coming back or not. But I'm at home now in my condo in Saga, like not doing anything. Can't go to the gym. Like this is like a first time in my life where I haven't played basketball for so long. Ended up like months later, they're like, you know what, the season's over. Like we just can't sustain it, the money and all that. So they cut the G League season. They bring the NBA season back for the bubble. Then the CEBL, like there's talks about them like maybe doing their own bubble. So I'm like, man, I'll play in anything because I just want to play. Like I just want to hoop. So I spent like, I have a treadmill in my basement. So I just started like getting on the treadmill, started doing some ball handling stuff in the basement. Started like doing little weights in the basement. I was like in good shape. I was gluten-free for a minute. Then they started kind of opening up the gyms like a bit. Like I remember one of my boys had like a church gym that we could work out of. So I was working out one of the Raptors coaches there, Ryan Schmidt, who's like was the head coach for CBL. And so working out, I'm feeling good. I'm getting back to myself. Like I said, I'm in like the best shape ever because last season I wasn't in the best shape because I wasn't playing that much. So like I told you guys, like if you don't practice, you got to do stuff on your own time. Yeah. And the G League, so you don't have the same amount of resources that they do in the NBA. If I go to the Hershey Center, or I think it's called Paramount Fine Food Centers now, but if I go to the Hershey Center and I just pull up, they could be like, yo, Monarchs booked the gym from this time to this time, so you can't use it. Just gymnastics in the gym at this time to this time, you can't use it. So even though it's like, yo, you're a 9-on-5 player, it's like, nah. And then our main court always has the ice on it. So sometimes it's like, oh, it's Paw Patrol on ice tonight. You can't use the court, or whatever the OHL team or whoever the team is, they're playing, so you can't use the court. So the recreational side, it's always booked by the Monarchs or gymnastics or whatever. So I'm just there like not in the best shape, whatever, like not still rusty, like because like I said, we barely practice. So I'm just happy I'm getting back to all that. So we playing the CBL, it's the bubble, and honestly, I don't know if it's because I hadn't played in so long or like we ramped it up too quick or whatever, but it was a third game. I was feeling good because the second game I had like 18 points and we had one. It's a third game. I had like 28 points. I was feeling good. It's the Elam ending style of basketball. So like it's not like during the last 4 minutes, they add on to
the target score.
Yeah, exactly. Target score. So I had scored like an and one. And the coach was like, give me the ball. So I had got the ball and I literally just took a split stance,
that's how it be, yeah.
Oh, just took a split stance and I just fell and I thought someone tripped me. I thought I slipped. And my teammate said he heard a pop. Everyone was looking at me like disgusted. And I'm just there like, what's everyone looking at? Like, what's going on? And then I knew something was wrong because usually like I dropped the ball. Like I literally just dropped the ball and the other team went and scored. And usually like if I turn the ball over, I'm gonna try and like go jump on it. But like I couldn't. So I wasn't making that connection. Like my legs were just, so I'm like, yo, like let me look down real quick, like make sure my legs are still on my body. And I looked and my foot was just kind of just there. And it didn't really hurt because the nerves, like my Achilles popped, like it ruptured. So like it was like one pain. And after that, like, I just didn't feel it. So I was just there and I just like started crying because I just thought about everything I just told you. I just thought about like COVID, then having to bounce back from COVID and like work out. Then like 9-on-5, I kind of was like not happy because I wasn't playing. So having an opportunity where I'm on a team where it's like my team and I get to lead it and I get to play the whole game and I get to call the shots, like being on the other side of politics for once, like I was just happy about that. And then I was like a week away from signing a contract to go play in France overseas. So I'm just like thinking about all that. Like I can't be out there for my brothers. Like I was about to help them win the game. Like, so I just started crying. I remember they took me off and I didn't know what it was. I still didn't know what it was. But then in my head, I was like, it might be my Achilles because I remember when Kevin Durant tore his, like everyone keeps talking about they felt like they got kicked. I'm like, I felt like someone kicked me and nobody kicked me. I turned around, nobody was behind me. Like, so I was just like, man. So I went to the hospital. They diagnosed it. I had that. Again, it's COVID, so it's different, man. Like I had to be there by myself. Like my family, nobody was allowed in the hospital because it's like the height of COVID or whatever. So like there was no guests, no nothing. So I had to go through all that by myself. But fortunately, Team Canada like looked out and I was able to get I see a specialist in Toronto. So I left St. Catharines where the bubble was, went to Toronto. 2 days later, I got surgery by a foot specialist, the same one who actually saw Kevin Durant when he tore his against the Raptors a couple of years ago. So I saw him. That was good. But like you said, man, like I've never had basketball forcibly taken away from me. So waking up from surgery and then seeing the cast, and then I'm like, man, they're talking about this 8 to 12 month injury. I'm like, yo, that's like a year essentially that like I can't like, you know what I'm saying, hoop. I've never not done that before. Since I was like 4 years old, I've always hooped like since I played organized basketball. So mentally it like killed me. But my brother tore his ACL like at Montverde a couple years back. So he went through something similar. So he like, you know, obviously called me and like we like talked about it. He just told me what to expect. Like you're gonna have down days, you're gonna da-da-da. But like, bro, the way you work, I'm sure like you're gonna come back quick. So then Tyler had that gruesome like injury like 2 years ago. So he hit my line. So I had people who were like hitting me up, keeping me positive, helping me stay out of that like rut, that like the kind of like stage where you're like, man, like I don't know how I'm gonna get through this. Like also I was going through that whole like why me? Like, damn, like why me? Like what did I do? Like I was in shape, I was working out well, I was gluten free, I stretch, I take care of my body. Like how like I rather have gotten hurt where it was like I was in the air and somebody hit me or like I came down crazy. But for me to just like take a step that I take every day, like a regular basketball step, it made no sense to me. So psychologically, it really messed me up, man. But like I said, I had a great group of people around me, from my family to like guys like Dwight Powell, who played for Team Canada. He had just tore his Achilles like last November against the Clippers. So being able to have a relationship with him, you know how everyone's always like, oh, my condolences or stay up. And you kind of like just like, man, all that pity, you don't want to hear it. But when you hear it from somebody who like actually is like, he was on like month 6 of the recovery. So like he literally knows what it's like. So he would tell me like, bro, you're not going to be able to sleep for like the first week because the pain is going to be too much after the surgery. Like, so yeah, all that like kind of helped out the process. Like Dwight Powell like really helped me out. And I was going through situations where like, yeah, the first week after surgery, I couldn't sleep, bro. Like I was crying every night, grown ass man crying because like it was so much pain because, you know, the body recovers when you're sleeping. And I didn't want to take the perkies and nothing like that they gave me because I'm like, man, I don't want to do all that. So I was just trying to like fight through all the pain. Yeah. And then I got like a little scooter, which is dope. So I could like put my knee on it, ride around. And to talk, like, just to get back to what you said, like I was supposed to be bedridden, but I was like, I can't do it, bro. So I went back to St. Catharines and I would like go watch my team. And like when they had practice, I'd be on the side, like sitting on my scooter, just form shooting with my right hand, form shooting with my left hand. I'm not left-handed, but I'm like, you know what?
Like, for the sake of doing it.
I got a year to get better. I might as well work on things that I never do, so I can come back and be a better player. Yeah. So like that's how the kind of the approach that I've taken. Like I've been just having a good corner around me, good support around me, and just continue to work on my game. So now like I'm on month 6 of my recovery, but realistically I'm in month 8 because I'm like a month and a half, 2 months ahead of schedule because of like how hard I've been working, but also because of COVID, it's like making this stuff so hard. It's like,
you can't even. 1
week I'm in the gym playing basketball, working out on the court 3-4 times, and next week it's like no gyms is open.
Lock off.
Lock off. Messes up my recovery. Then I have to go in the basement and improvise. Sometimes I'm at fits, and then it's again another lockdown. I can't go like do the weights or the rehab. I like balance.
That's fine too. No, well, I commend you for trying to find a way. You know, there's so many guys that would just quit. Well, I don't want to say quit, but the process would slow down and by their work ethic. You know, the negativity sometimes takes over the positivity, and all you can do at this moment is, you know, try to steady the course. So I commend you on doing that and continue to do so. I don't know. I see you in fits a couple times on your profile, so that's good. I need to try and get in there myself. Because it's getting reckless. But now we're gonna play in a perfect world. We always like to conclude with this. Hit you with some questions. So let's go ahead and do that. So in a perfect world, you're back in grade 9. No, let's say you're done at St. Thomas More. Have all your recruitment. You probably already answered this question, kind of. You can't pick South Carolina. In a perfect world, you are who you were at St. Thomas More. Which school would you go to? Can't pick South Carolina for all the Gamecock fans out there. Can't pick.
What school I go to? Trying to think.
You had a good selection for what you told us. Yeah, I wouldn't know who to pick either.
Yeah, I'll probably go to Marquette or I'll probably go to Marquette.
Go to Marquette.
Because like, you know, it's in Milwaukee, ain't too much going on, so I'm not gonna be distracted by too much.
Facts.
They got a historic school. They have good resources. And I'd probably be able to do what I want out there. It's not as structured. Like Buzz wasn't like too like, you know.
Wasn't
Yeah. And so it'll be that. The reason why I'm not picking Syracuse is because they play zone, and I like to play defense. And
like strap up,
I joke around with my boy Tyler all the time. So if you watch him all the time, boy can't play defense because he went to Syracuse. So
got you. That's fair to say. That's fair to say.
They're in the zone all the time. So when they get stuck on that island, when it's man to man, when they come to the pros, it's a problem. So I'm not. Sure. So yeah.
Okay. Now, you're prime in college. Your brother's prime in college. Who's winning one-on-one series out of 7? Who's winning majority of those games?
I like this question.
I mean, I'm saying me. We always get this question and we never answer it because like we both don't
want to answer it. Yeah, I seen it.
Give it up to each other like we both cold. Like he'll always say like, nah, bro's too cold. Like he's the reason why I am who I am. I'm like, bro, this dude is like me times on steroids. Like So but I will say this. The last time we played one-on-one, which was 2 years ago now, because 21. Like I won. But it ain't. It's never, and I think I won the series too, but it's never. So he may have won a game or two in the series, but I won the series. But it's never like if we're playing a 7. It's never like 7-1. It's like it's like 7-5.
Not like a big gap. It's close.
It's close. It's close.
Okay, so let me ask you this: if there's one thing, and you could do vice versa for your brother as well, put a little twist. If there's one thing you could take from his game, implement it to yours, what would it be? And vice versa for your brother, seeing him doing what he's doing at Minnesota?
That's a good question. I think his shot making ability is incredible, man. Like you guys seen it, like his buzzer beaters and stuff. Like his creativity into the shot. Like for me, I have a good handle. Like I have a really good handle, but like I'm more like straight to the point. You know what I mean? Like I hit you with through the legs crossover step back, but he setting you up. Coming like same leg stop step back. He really the stuff he works on, he puts in a game. Me, I just go to like what I know. Like I'll work on that kind of stuff, but I ain't gonna do it. Like I like to beat the defense, but his creativity into the shot, like his reverse pivot in the paint, like he has some post up buckets. Like I don't post up, I don't do that. Like he's really versatile. Like he could score at literally all 3 levels, like the 3, mid range, and the rim. Whereas me, like I'm going to the basket. I'm hitting threes off a screen, off the dribble, but I ain't really into the mid-range game, and I'm not really posting up. So like the fact that he's able to score at all 3 levels and he has different variants of each like level and like counters to each of it, like I would definitely take that from him. And then for me, probably out like I don't know, man. He a really good defender and he really has a high IQ. He sees the game really well. He makes the right passes and the right reads. So like I don't know what really you can take from me, to be honest. Like he's like he really got it. Like we're kind of different. We're similar, but we're kind of different in our own ways. And I'm just happy like how far he's taking it right now.
Yeah, for sure. All right, I'm gonna give you 2 more questions. Cut this or that. Okay. So Kevin Durant or Harden, who are you taking, man? And I'll put a scenario into place so it's not that difficult because people like to ask who's the better scorer.
And Kevin Durant, for sure.
Oh, it's not that. Okay, tell me why. Because I agree with you, but everybody always.
The man is. I've seen him in person. Like I've stood up to him. He's 7 feet. Like I don't think I understand how. Like when we were kids, there was no. You know who like.
Yeah, that's we didn't see that.
But like guys like that at that size handling the ball like a guard. Like come on.
That's why I never think it's a discussion, but people continue to.
For me, greatest scorer of all time. Like Beans could score, but like, bro, you like, it's like even when you watch Brandon Ingram yesterday. Like, I'm not saying he's close to Kevin Durant, but when you're 6'10", bro, Who stop like he's shooting over you, KD doesn't see you. Like he doesn't even like if he misses it's because of him. It's not because of you. Like there's no such thing as defense for him. He's too tall, and then he can handle the ball. And like KD's athletic, I don't know. James Harden, I'm not gonna lie, like his skill set is crazy. Like his footwork into his shots and his step backs are like incredible. And like he has the same leg, same foot finishes, like floaters, and he's an assassin one-on-one on that island with the ball. But like KD is too tall, like shoots the ball too well, like too long, lanky. Like I can't go against that. Like I think LeBron's my GOAT. But like I think KD is like the greatest scorer like of all time.
Okay, my last question is I think this year the narrative's starting to change a little bit. Who do you think is going to be? No, I shouldn't say it like that. Trae Young or Luka?
Trae Young or Luka? I mean, for me again, not close. But I watch basketball for different reasons. But I think it's Luka for me. That's just my opinion. One, again, he's 6'8", he's taller. Two, he's not even and man, this is inside information, but like I said, me working out with Dwight Powell, he's telling me all the stuff. So like, bro, Luka is like 21. So first of all, he's my brother's age doing like that's why my brother doing he's doing in the NBA. Like it's pretty impressive against like Kawhi, against like real juggernauts. Then Luka, like I don't know, man, his handle and then his size is pretty tough. He could shoot the ball, but like he'll get better. And then, like I said, like what Dwight was telling me is that Luka's still kind of a kid. Once Luka gets to the point where he understands, like, okay, I gotta do this, do that, like, and his body gets like tighter, like you know what I'm saying, he eats better or whatever he has to do, whatever, like, and he like really taps into his true athleticism or like whatever. I think he's gonna be. I mean, he's already special. Like you already see what he could do: pass the ball, score the ball. I mean, defense is like it's so hard to talk about defense in the NBA because like everybody could score. So I can't really say like his defense is good or bad. Like as long as he competes, I don't really care. Because like I said, I know people are like, "Yo, he's a defender. He's not a defender, bro." At the end of the day, KD gonna score 30. Kyrie gonna score 30 when he wants. Like it's not like how do you really decide who's a good defender? Like I guess it's who you make score. Whoever is on offense, you make them struggle the most. But like in the NBA. If Kawhi averaged 25, he's gonna get 25 no matter who.
For sure, no doubt.
You know what I'm saying? So like I never really understood the whole like, oh, that's a lockdown defender, like all that kind of stuff. Like you can make it tough on somebody, but a superstar gonna get they're gonna get their numbers. Like no matter if they take 20 shots to do it, they still gonna get their number. So I think Luka has that edge. I think Trae Young has range and like he has a stupid handle, but he's just smaller, man. When Luka gets you on his hip, it's a wrap. He's going to the bucket. And then, like I said, he makes the right play every time. He throws the lob when he needs to. He finds Tim Hardaway when he needs to. I just think he's a better point guard. Like he's like if I was starting a team today, I would take Luka over like Trae. But like that's not a knock on Trae. I think Trae's like crazy talented.
Okay.
And Luka, I've heard about Luka for a minute. Like Luka,
yeah,
I've known about Luka since he was like 14, 15. I remember when I was overseas, even when I was in Poland, I think he was like 17, 18, and he was like getting player of EuroLeague, like MVP of EuroLeague and like all that kind of stuff. Like, I knew he was going to come to the league and make a difference. And so to see him actually do it, I have so much respect for him. It's like when that's why I like LeBron, because like I was watching this movie the other day, more than a game, and I was like, bro, I don't think people understand the amount of pressure and hype he had as a kid, bro. Like 17 years old, he's selling out college arenas in high school. He's on Sports Illustrated. He's doing all this stuff. So for him to actually not go crazy, like, you know how Disney stars get that fame young and they start like doing drugs and like acting out, for him to like not have a scandal, to accomplish all the things he's done on and off the court, like it's hard for me not to call him a GOAT, bro. Like
crazy, yeah.
And we're not gonna go there, but
don't go there with this guy, bro.
Who's your GOAT?
My GOAT?
Don't ask him that.
It's Michael Jordan, but that's a whole nother topic for another day.
Okay. I mean, you can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong.
No way. You know, Michael Jordan Cole. He the reason why all of them play basketball. If it wasn't for Space Jam, I would not have picked up a basketball. So,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. One last question I want to ask you before we end the show. We want to know who is someone that you think we should have on this show, but here's the thing: you got to help us get him though.
Who you guys are doing athletes?
athletes, coaches, managers, anybody just basketball related?
I don't know. Y'all let me know.
Put you on the spot.
Whatever you want me to get, I'll reach out.
This is the personal one. We ask all our guests, so we just want to know.
You might as well get my brother on there then.
As long as you can help us get him on here, sure. We'll definitely take him on here.
I'll get him. I know he played Ohio State today, but y'all let me know a day. I'll connect y'all. Like, he definitely need to be on there. Ask him the same question.
I'm gonna ask him the same question for sure. For sure.
Better. Let me see.
I'd love to see what he has to say about it.
See what he say behind closed doors.
Right. Put him on the air.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
For sure. Duane, man, listen, man. You know, we appreciate your time. We appreciate you taking the time to talk to us about your career, man. I learned a lot about you today, and to be honest, we had a lot of fun doing this interview. Let our fans and viewers know where we can find you on Instagram or your socials.
And what is my Instagram? I think it's just, or you just put my name in. I don't know. Duane Notice. I think it's I think it's at you notice. So it's at DUU 2 U's, and then Notice is my Instagram, and I think my Twitter is at DUU Take Notice. And that's pretty much it. I guess I'm on LinkedIn if everybody wants to connect with me on there.
Hey man, you got a network.
Yeah. I got YouTube. Oh yeah, my YouTube channel just under my name, so just Duane Take Notice. And yeah, that's it. Snapchat, but that, keep that on the low.
Gotta keep that on the low.
We good there. But hey, man, honestly, Happy New Year. Nothing but the best for you this upcoming year. Hopefully you're able to really take off when you get back onto the court. We're looking forward to you getting back on the court. And nothing but speedy recovery for you moving forward, and hope to hear from you soon, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I have fun, man. You got to keep doing this, man. It's good. It's good for the culture. It's good for the community. Like, we need this.
Most definitely.
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you.
Take care.
All right.